Hi, welcome back to my channel Diecast Racer fans. Today we are going to have a look at the 143 scale model of the Toleman TG184 as driven by Ayrton Senna from my Formula 1 car collection. Got another version here which it's got a different livery. This one was also driven by Ayrton Senna, but we're going to focus on this one today. Senna arrived in Milan at the end of the 1970s with a plum wallet in his pocket, given to him by his father to finance his ambitions to the World Karting Championships. At that time, the young Brazilian was still called Ayrton da Silva. He then started to use his mother's last name as well, becoming Ayrton Senna da Silva for a while. In the end, he shortened that to Ayrton Senna. Senna da Silva then landed in England, where he embarked on the world-trodden track through the lower formulas. First Formula 4 1600, then Formula 4 2000, followed by the prestigious British Formula 3 series. While regarded as providing the best training ground for those aspiring to compete in the Formula 1, the Brazilian never ceased to amaze. He dominated races wherever he went, finding young Martin Brundle the only real opponent able to stand up to him. At the end of 1983, by which time he was known simply as Ayrton Senna, all the main British F1 team managers were eager to sign him up. Bernie Ecclestone wanted Senna in Brabham at all costs, but had to deal with disapproval from two fronts. Nelson Piquet, fresh from his second world title, did not welcome a young and aggressive teammate. Also, the main team sponsor Pamela, which wanted an Italian driver. And so surprisingly, Senna chose the far from irresistible Toleman, and a somewhat modest package, all things considered. But in the Brazilian's opinion, it was the right path to take, to gain experience without suffering too much pressure from the world around. The Brazilian made his Grand Prix debut on home turf on the Jacarapaguá circuit in Rio de Janeiro. It was an unexceptional first drive, hardly surprising as he was driving the Toleman TG183B from the previous year. So this is the car Senna was using for his first few drives. It was a previous year's Toleman, but it was used for the first few races in 1984. With the TG183B at the next Grand Prix in South Africa, Senna finished 6th and he bagged his first points. The all-new Toleman lined up in France as the TG184 made its bow along with its Michelin tyres. But it was another difficult race for Senna. He came 13th in qualifying and he retired on the 35th lap following engine failure. The Monaco Grand Prix was a waterlogged affair. Senna qualified in 13th position. But he knew that his Michelin tyres could make all the difference in the wet conditions. After 27 laps, he was second, behind Alain Prost. However, as the Frenchman crossed the line after the 31st lap, he gesticulated from the cockpit for the race to be stopped. The next lap, the red flag came out. In the general confusion, Senna had overtaken Prost and even undertook a lap of honour, believing that he had won the race. But it was not to be, and that day the first foundations were laid for a rivalry between him and Prost that would mark an era. The Brazilian's face on the podium as he received the cup for second place was strained and sombre. Senna was adamant, "I won. Everyone saw that I won." So this is Senna's first podium car. Now, Senna didn't end up finishing the season off because he was suspended for punishment by failing to announce his move to Lotus. Don't know the details of that, but that sounds interesting. He moved on to Lotus. The rest is history from there. We'll probably review that Lotus car in the near future. This Formula 1 car that Ayrton Senna drove was powered by a Hart racing engine. The 4-cylinder 1.5 litre turbocharged motor, the Hart 415T, developed and tuned by Brian Hart of Hart Racing Engines, produced around about 650 horsepower. Now, back in the early 80s, there were some crazy numbers coming out of the turbocharged engines. Over the next few years, 650 crept up to 1,000 horsepower, especially with the BMW developed F1 engines. This vehicle was brainchild of designer Rory Byrne. He was one of the main backers of this design, if not maybe invented this double wing design. Another Toleman had a couple of winglets attached to either side of the wing. This arrangement was used a fair bit over the years in F1, and you can see in other vehicles here. For example, this Toleman, this 1983 TG183B had a similar arrangement, but you can see that the side pods were a lot shorter. They don't extend all the way through, and yeah, that's because of the arrangement of the radiators at the front spoiler. You can see here the spoiler's got these opening, and inside that opening there were a couple of radiators. We have another example here. This is the Osella from 1984, and it's got a sort of a halfway arrangement where you've got those two winglets attached to the main wing, and then you've got sort of flat plane wing. I don't know if there's much angle, whether it produces much downforce. Here we've got a Spirit 201, the 1983 model. We've got a similar arrangement to the 83 Toleman, and we've got the full width front wing there in front of the rear one. So it was experimented by many teams back in the day. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, if you want to see more of this content, please like, subscribe. Please let me know what you think. Comment below. Share with like-minded motorsport and diecast model fans. Thanks for watching. Till next time, cheers.